Tex, you were one of the first people I heard, and you said it here the other day, predicting that this was inevitable with Carlos Beltran and the Mets. What was your reaction when you heard it happen yesterday?
Well, not surprised at all. Unfortunately, the Mets were backed into a corner here. They had no other choice. Imagine the bullseye that would have been on their back if they would have stuck with Carlos Beltran and gone to spring training in a few weeks here. You have the fans and the media, they're going to be all over you. Not to mention Major League Baseball is going to watch every single step the Mets make and make sure they're doing things the right way. That's undue attention that the Mets don't need from a public standpoint. And then inside the clubhouse, you never know how players were going to react to that type of manager.
So let's talk about Beltran here. He had a terrific career as a player. Some people believe that he is a future Hall of Famer. His career was that good. You played with him for 3 years. How do you think all of this impacts his legacy?
I think it depends who you ask, Greeny. I think there's a camp of people out there that say, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And so I have no problem with steroids. I have no problem with stealing signs and doing other illegal things in baseball. And so there's a camp that this does not affect the way they view Carlos Beltran at all. Great player. There's another camp that cares about the integrity of the game, that cares about playing the game the right way. And he's going to have an asterisk by his name in that camp for the rest of his life.
Do you think he ever gets a chance to manage again? We've asked that question about Hinch. We've asked that question about Cora. I'll ask it to you about Beltran, who, again, was not in a position of leadership when all of this happened in Houston. Do you think he manages again?
I do believe that every one of those guys will get a chance. The question is how much time, how long is this scandal really going to linger? If this thing lingers for 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to take that long for Hinch and Cora and Beltran to get another chance. But I do believe we are in a very forgiving society. People give guys second chances. And by the way, if you would have asked me last week who were 3 of the top managers in baseball, I would have said A.J. Hinch, Alex Cora, and Carlos Beltran has a chance to be one of the top managers in baseball. So this doesn't take away from his ability to understand the game and to pick up on strategical instances where he can add value. And I just don't think that right away Major League Baseball is going to want those guys back in the game.
Altuve released a statement through his agent, Scott Boras, yesterday, which was reported by the New York Post, saying, quote, "I have never worn an electronic device in my performance as a major league player." This met with skepticism, to say the least, from across the sport. A couple of the Dodgers, who were on those World Series teams that lost to the Astros in 17 and then the Red Sox in 18, Cody Bellinger said, "For the sake of the game, I hope this isn't true. If true, there needs to be major consequences that completely ruins the integrity of the game." Alex Wood tweeted, "I would rather face a player that was taking steroids than face a player that knew every pitch that was coming." And so, Tex, I come back to you. You played in the big leagues for 14 years. This electronic device business really takes it in a different direction. Have you ever seen or heard of anything like that?
I've never seen or heard of anything like this. And if this is true, and I really hope it's not true, this is insane. This would be the craziest thing, and you're talking about year-plus suspensions for anybody that would be involved in this. Again, I hope it's not true, but Alex Wood is right. If you're a pitcher and you face a guy who took steroids, hey, I can still make him swing and miss. I can make him pop up. I can change speeds on him to gain the advantage. If you know what's coming, especially in a manner of a trash can of noise or buzzing on your arm, what a huge advantage for the hitters, and the integrity of the game is completely lost when devices like that are being used.
So just to be clear, Major League Baseball essentially made a deal with the players that if they were honest about what they had done and what they knew, they would not face discipline. If that does become a situation where there can be some proof that there was the use of electronic devices, would that change it for you from what we previously thought? Do you think that there should be discipline involved?
Yes, and I think there should be serious discipline. And again, I hope this isn't true. But if it is true, now you have Major League Baseball going to the players over the past few months and saying, you get immunity. You're not going to be punished, but you better tell the truth. So if the cover-up was there, we all know, Greeny, in society, a lot of people make mistakes. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. It's the cover-up that gets guys in trouble. And in this case, if there was a cover-up, if those players were not being honest with Major League Baseball during this investigation, there will be huge punishments being doled out to these players.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.